Is Amanda, and I'm a member of Group 5. Today we will be going over the Valley Animal Center, since this is the organization that we chose to do our service learning plan. The Valley Animal Center is a nonprofit organization, which means that they rely on external sources of revenue to be able to run their day-to-day business operations. We researched their 2019 990 tax form. According to this, they received over $1 million from contributions. These could be in the form of grants and donations. It also shows that they received $800,000 in 2019 in program services. This is hosting their annual trunk or treat or hosting other events at the Animal Center. The great thing about the Valley Animal Center is that it is a no-kill shelter. Their main focus is the overpopulation of pets in the Central Valley and lowering the rates of euthanizing animals. The Valley Animal Center cares for more than 500 dogs, cats, puppies, and kittens. 85% of the adoptable animals that arrive at the Valley Animal Center are from local animal control facilities where they ran out of time to be adopted, so the Valley Animal Center takes them in so that they don't have to be euthanized. Another way the Valley Animal Center contributes to reduce the overpopulation of animals is that any pet adopted by the Valley Animal Center is spayed or neutered before going to their forever home. This will reduce the overall population of strays and help each animal have a home.
Hello class, my name is Anne from Group 5 and our next the next part of our presentation today is the current financial situation and the SWOT analysis. Let's get into the current financial situation. Unlike other non-profit organizations that receive much of their income from donations and federal campaigns, the Valley Animal Center has to rely on its fundraising campaign. The center alone had earned about $249,868, which was a very good figure on its own. All the amounts of the Valley Animal Center, whether the revenue or expenses, are taken from the fiscal year of 2019. The substantial amount of revenues that the Animal Center receives from the government grant and public support is about $2 million. Besides this, there were many other contributions like grants, gifts, and many other similar amounts. Moreover, Valley Animal Center also earns its revenue from program services, which include mainly animal adoption client services. The most important revenue for the Valley Animal Center is the government grant, which is about 50% of the total revenue earned. The pie chart here shows that the second most important source of the revenues that the center relies on is the other contributions. About the expenses, it's ranging from the compensation of current officers, directors, trustees, and key employees, and these are further divided into 3 categories, which include the program service expenses, management, general expenses, and fundraising expenses. Another very important expense for the non-profit organizations like the Valley Animal Centers is the tax payroll. The depreciations, depletions, and amortization expenses was about the second highest of all of the expenses paid. Insurance, program supplies, telephone, newsletters and mailings, repair and maintenance, and other expenses are presented in the lie chart below, which their respective percentage and which expense forms the highest percentage of all the expenses. The highest percentage of the expenses are paid out by the Valley Animal Center is the salaries and the wages. Followed by this is the program supply expense of about 20%, which is also the second most paid amount to different supplies that were currently being programmed at the centers. From the diagram above, it was found that the Valley Animal Center is mostly on the positive side of earning revenue and has fewer expenses compared to the revenue earned, and the same trend can be observed in the bar graphs. The next important part is the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis is used to analyze the Valley Animal Center's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This analysis will be useful because it will help understand the internal factors, strengths and weaknesses, and the external factors, opportunities, and threats. For the strengths, the staff at the Valley Animal Center is very dedicated to working efficiently towards the goals of the organization, and the staff is also very caring towards the animal. The Valley Animal Center has also very strong relationships with the local veterinarians, which means that if the animals at the shelter house get sick at any time of the day, they can be taken to the animal center transport to the clinic, and they can be cared and will be given the required medication at the time of injury. The Valley Animal Center has also focused on the implementing the professional standards throughout the organization, which means that whether they are taking care of the animals in the shelter house or providing them with the top quality food, everything has to follow through a number of set standards. Only after which the management approach of these processes then implemented. Also, the Valley Animal Center is actively using social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram to make their customer aware of any fundraising campaign that they are about to launch, or also any new pets that they have rescued, so that more people could take a step and come and adopt them. But the witnesses, however, there is a lack of appetite that is available in the Valley Animal Center to take care of the animals in the field. Usually the center has to bear an extra cost because they have to drive the animals to the local places, who charge usually very high to treat the animals if they are sick or injured. The workers and the professionals should be hired to not just look after but also provide the best medical care as well. The center also does not have enough resources, which they might be able to use in time of emergencies to look after the dogs and cats if they need the emergency care in a very critical situation. And to stay in the industry and compete the competitors, it is very important for the Valley Animal Center to invest in the new forms of technology so that they can stay effectively within the business. Opportunities. As the people have stepped into the 21st century, there is increasing support for animal shelter programs all around the world, and many people look forward to those organizations that take care of these homeless creatures. And that is why it can be seen that Valley Animal Center also has a large number of um, amount which is received from the government grant. Whenever the center uploads a new animal being adopted, it receives an overwhelming response from the customer about the adoption process of these dogs and cats. Moreover, there are numerous chances for organizations to take part in the community events that are organized by the government, the public, or the Valley Animal Center itself, because this non-profit organization relies mostly on its fundraising campaigns and the different events that are held to raise the awareness of the new animals that are part of the shelter home, so that more people would become motivated to adopt them. Threats, however, as more and more animal welfare programs are working towards the betterment of the homeless and stray animals, it is very important to understand that the clients who wants the dogs or the cats to be adopted from these shelter homes must be taken good care of, and it must also be assured that these animals do not have any kind of disease before they go into someone else's place. All of these requirements force the animal shelter to invest in new training facility of their employees and also to employ people. Moreover, it sometimes becomes very difficult to check if the owner of the animal will take good care of in the future. It might become very difficult for the valley animal center to look for this inhumane behavior which the people might perform once they take these innocent creatures to their home. There is also a possibility that if any employee complains to the authority that the health and safety of the workers are overlooked, then the government may impose a heavy fine on the organization, increasing its cost to the business. Moreover, there is also increased crime that is taking place in industry, and only a few people are out there who will comply with animals' laws in society.
Communication and marketing objectives. Crucial for any business. The implementation of the marketing objectives is very crucial for any business because if the objectives are not well established and are unclear, the employees would not clearly know what they have to work towards. And so it is a possibility that the entire organization can be misled as a result of this. The objectives of the organization must be realistic and not very impossible for the employees to achieve because otherwise they will feel demoted if they are unable to fully accomplish their tasks and reach the ultimate goal. Besides this, the objectives must also be measurable and time-specific as well, because if this does not happen, then the objectives will become unclear and the employees will not know what exactly they have to achieve and by when. For the year 2022 and 2023, the supervisor at the Valley Animal Center had been informed about two different objectives for the center, which the management has developed by looking at the current situation, the weaknesses and threats from the SWOT analysis. It has found a number of different ways to curb the situation effectively, which proves to be beneficial for the entire animal center. Major strategies. The first major strategy for the animal center is the development of organizational capacity by 15% by the end of the year 2022. This is to treat and care for the dogs that come into the shelter home. By developing this strategy, it will allow the shelter house to continue to improve the quality of care, which is provided to the animals at the shelter house, their main purpose. The SWOT analysis explained that the shelter house does not have enough up-to-date facilities, so it is very important in the upcoming years to look out for facilities that will improve the quality of the care provided to animals, which is their main purpose of the shelter. With this strategy, the management of the animal center will also ensure animals who come into the care of the shelter home, whether they are injured or adopted from the roadside, it is ensured that the animals are provided with a safe and healthy environment overall, and also to treat the animals with love. When the employees of the Valley Animal Center become effective in doing care of the animals that come to the shelter, then the cost to the animal center will also be significantly reduced because the professionals will be the ones who will be providing the required medical facilities as well as the training of animals in the shelter as well. The second major strategy is a mission-focused team. The second objective of the organization, which was defined by management, is the shelter home focuses on the continuation of the employees of the Valley Animal Center to retain a high qualified team by the end of 2022, and to also keep the turnover below 1%, which means one person or none, of the total employees, which are currently at 35, and also to have a mission-focused team within the organization. This can be easily done and achieved within the organization with the help of retaining, recruiting, and developing good talent within the organization. And it will also reduce the cost of the organization for recruiting employees over and over again. Besides this, another major strategy is to support the culture. A culture can be created within the organization which helps to promote respect and values among the various members of the organization, including the management and the existing and the new employees, and it also encourages the employees to work towards the goals of the organization with more effort. With the help of the marketing objective, the management at Valley Animal Center would be able to support a culture that works towards the effective accountability of the employees in the organization, and also work teams that are formed keeping in view this objective. The management in the animal shelter home can provide the people with the most effective training programs, and also employees will then become updated about the current and most relevant information that is required for the effectiveness of running the organization. The major strategies and the marketing objectives are important to the Valley Animal Center, for it could provide a great home for dogs and needs and animals, which is the main objective of their organization.
My name is William Chavez, and I'll be starting off with our marketing objectives and why they're important. When it comes to marketing objectives, it is important because they are crucial for any business and employees. It gives them realistic interim goals. They must be measurable and time specific so the objectives are able to be achieved. Based off the SWOT analysis, Valley Animal Center is trying to increase its organizational capacity by 15%. Our marketing objective implementation plan. Every strategy is important for any business to achieve its goals. It makes it easier to achieve and check productivity, and in return, we will have better long-term growth. Ours include Valley Animal Center arranging activities to build a better connection and have better motivation for their own team. This helps for a better experience while at the shelter. HR examines potential candidates in accordance with needs of the organization. This will in return bring people who are less to assign and stay to the company or organization. Monthly training of staff to stay up to date with changes and the learning of new skills. But throughout time, there will be new changes that would need to be, whether it's increased training and learning new things in order to help the better organization and better growth. Increased participation of the recruited employees in the Valley Animal Center. Pretty much bringing everyone more together and putting in more work. Promotional plan achieved with social media. It is mainly focused on social media to create applications for rising positions, while also allowing you to interact and learn new training and hear about new activities slash opportunities. It helps Valley Animal Center see the responses that applicants and existing employees are giving regarding activities introduced for training. It gives them a specification of the employees while also tracking the number of applications it receives. Promotional plan that is achieved with a newspaper article. It will create an application for a position of veterinarian for the shelter home. The job specifications can be explained in a new advertisement if a new vacancy arises. Having different newspaper agencies in which the advertisement article is placed, data can be received as to how many people the advertisement reached. This will bring a majority of people that might be interested in a certain position that has arisen. Now for what the Valley Animal Center marketing plan what it could possibly look like. This shows a 12 monthly chart of what it would look like regarding new applicants and within an organization. The plans will achieve a monthly progressions that benefits both management, employees, and volunteers.